I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today.
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BigExposedRadio.com. We're here live on this noon-ish Saturday.
I think it's exactly noon. We started exactly noon.
At noon. So we're here live. Today's show, we have two awesome artists that are joining us today. Today's topic is a space to be creative. Just for me, I can't do art just like if I had a studio outside of my home, it would be very hard for me to just create there if I didn't feel the space. Like for me, my kitchen feels more creative.
I know what you mean.
Than any space in my home, and I've tried it. I definitely have tried, and I've moved it around several times, but I'm out of my bedroom because it was either create art on my bed or have a bed to sleep in. So I had to get that out of my system.
Yeah.
And that was the worst thing, because every night I was picking up little tiny earring beads and pieces every single night. And I was annoyed by that.
Yeah, no,
it was
that's
a process to actually get to bed.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm not a person that like has laundry or stuff like that on my bed. So it was like this half was just like jewelry, and this is where I would sleep. And that was so annoying. And it just felt gross to me. So I definitely, my kitchen table is now, I don't eat dinner or breakfast on it. Just make jewelry. Literally is crawling in beads and glue and paint. And so that's my space to be creative. What is your space to be creative? What do you need, or where do you feel most creative? Give us a call, 410-702-5657. I got a couple emails about the show last night, and if you want to join in a conversation, you can always just give us a call, 410-702-5657. We welcome your thoughts and opinions and such.
Chime in.
Right. And I preface this by saying I am not trying to overshadow what happens to women, but you cannot negate or erase the fact that this is an issue that happens to men.
Yes.
And there are plenty of you out there that are gunning for better policies and laws and rules and regulations and justice for women, but somebody needs to speak for guys and men and young boys as well. So that's what I'm here for. If you have an issue with that, then you go out and help women, and I'll help whomever comes my way. But my focus is definitely helping young men and guys in general out. But I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong, any more wrong than you are for pushing women's agendas and their issues, so on and so forth. But I got a really nasty email.
Really?
That's
unfortunate.
It is, but it's my story, so you can't take my story from me. I mean, I think most people, just like there's a lot of people who feel like only Black issues need to be raised. No, everybody else is going through life like you are.
Right.
And some people are sharing your experience, even if they're not the same complexion, color, orientation, so on and so forth. And the group that I had started this, I had started the conversation there and had them listen in.
Mhm.
And a lot of the people, like, it's a lot of men and women who feel like it's a gay thing. It's a
No.
non-black origin thing. No, like, there are pedophiles that are men, women, gay, straight,
Yep.
purple, tall,
Yep.
old, young,
I will-
American, non-American.
I will never ever forget the day my aunt Evelyn looked me in my face and say, "It's some women out there that'll do just the same
Yeah.
or worse to you than a man would."
Yeah.
That changed my whole life.
Mhm. And we've seen it, and this is not a movie. It's
Right.
not a movie. This is real life. And there are women who prey on women and men and children.
Mhm.
And it happens, and it's not funny. You can find humor in it, but it's not funny when it's your story.
Right.
Until you know specifically. And the Lady Gaga song, we're gonna play it again a couple times. And until it happens to you, you don't know what it feels like. I had never experienced losing someone to the hands of murder until I lost my grandmother. And until that happens to you, you don't find the need for justice. You don't.
Right.
You know justice is important and it's valid, no matter who it happens to. But until it happens to you,
Right.
you don't know what that feels like to go through life knowing someone was taken away from you, opposed to, just transitioning naturally. But yeah, so that was my story. And if you have a problem with it, give us a call, 410-702-5657. I'm not a person, if I ever, like, I'm a person, I call into shows when I feel like it's something that I need to say. Because that's just my point. But I listen to your point of view and it's
Right.
valid. But I think, I'll say this, and I've said it many times. There are plenty of programs out there for women to achieve, to prevent things from happening, to get a leg up. But most times, men don't receive that help until they're already incarcerated or they've been expelled, or
rehabilitation.
right, they're already in that process, and
Right.
at that point, it's a habit that's hard to break.
Right.
So there needs to be more measures. I grew up in a lot of programs like Positive Image. Shout out to Miss Mitchell at 125, and Positive Image, and Project Raise, programs like that tried to give us a heads up. So I was fortunate in that way, but I know a lot of people who did not make it into those programs.
Mhm.
We have a different, not to say that I've gone through less problems, but I know how to get up faster. I know how to be
Right.
more cognitive as far as resources, reaching out to people and such. And a lot of people didn't do that. A lot of people didn't have that because of the programs I was in, got me into the schools that I was able to go to. So it's beneficial. And we need to start thinking about men and women in the same light, especially when it comes to children.
Mhm.
Instead of just, I remember growing up in a family where my mother, I didn't do anything. She made all the girls do certain things. And I was there just to lift stuff or do the dirty part of it. And that's just crazy.
It is, because my thing is, if you are looking at your child and you expect them to leave your house and go and live on their own,
And function.
you have to give them all the skills. You can't give them just the skills that, a quote unquote
Right.
man is supposed to have or a quote unquote woman is supposed to have. How many people get and can't cook for themselves?
Yeah.
So they spend $300 or $400 a week eating out.
I was lucky that I could watch somebody do something and learn, because my mother didn't teach me how to balance a checkbook or wash clothes or cook. So I was lucky to have watched her do that to all my cousins and watch her do it. So I was able to do it. But I, color faded things a couple times as an adult because I didn't understand it and I had to learn the hard way.
Right.
And it's not to say anything, but it's just an era that they grew up in. Guys did these jobs, women did these jobs.
Right.
And you're really crippling the young men by not giving them certain
Giving them
things
skills,
or pacifying them. And like, I was sheltered. And that's really detrimental because then you are
It
either
handicaps
afraid
you.
of the right, you're either afraid of the world, you're handicapped, or you just run buck wild. And that was me. The day I turned 18, I smoked a cigarette because I could. And that was my rational thinking. I was free. I cussed in front of my mother for the first time because I thought I could because I was 18.
Right.
And then I realized how dumb all those things were, and I didn't need to do it. But some people don't learn that lesson. They just go buck wild until they burn out, and then they see the results of it, or they hold it in for as long as they can, and they 45 doing dumb stuff like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a drug dealer because I'm 45 now, like stupid stuff like that. But you have to balance out your parenting skills. Speaking as somebody who's not a parent but that's been a child, balance it out. Be tough, but you got to know when to ease up. But that conversation yesterday will definitely continue on. Our guests will definitely come back and we'll share some more stories and bring some more guests in that can actually be in. We never said our guest name because we were asked to, so I didn't want people to think we were just being strange. But we're trying to protect people's privacy, and everybody has a story, and we don't want to glorify the act but really give people a space to feel safe. And so if you want to come on and you feel the same way, we'll give you the same privilege and
Open
right
bail.
as well.
Yep.
So definitely hit us up. Again, don't forget, Joshua Dixon will be featuring this month at Joshua Dixon will be featuring this month at our Actors Playground the last Tuesday of the month. That is March the 29th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Come on time. We had last time, there were so many people there early. Shout out to everybody who came on time.
Yeah.
I love when people are on time. It makes my job easier. But definitely come out the last Tuesday of this month, the Actors Playground. It's going to be awesome. We have some awesome people already signing up. So go to the Facebook page, like it, share it, join the event so we know that you're coming. And look out for some awesome things to come from the Actors Playground. Also, the 2nd of April, we're having an open house here from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. And you'll be able to meet all the personalities that we have. We have 2 new shows, well, actually 3 new shows that just two new shows that just joined, and 1 show that will be coming on April the 4th. That is Brown and Healthy Radio Show with the Michelle Antoinette, Miss Love the Poet, and Shelly Says So will be her co-host. Tracy Jiggets just started Monday 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Gangsta Goddess Radio Show. They had an awesome first show. Miss Sequoia, the young man, Noah, who did the monologue at Actors Playground. Sequoia is his mom.
Oh, wow.
And she was here with Tracy. Awesome young man. His mom and Tracy had an interesting conversation. I love the dynamic of the show. It's all women. I sit in for Tracy's first one, but it's from this point on, it will be all women, all female energy in the room. So the ladies of Be Exposed should definitely stop by and lend their 2 cents. But it was an awesome conversation. It was led by a great conversation on the Nina Simone movie and how what impact it does have on us as a culture to see yet another person being depicted. And that argument, okay, she's an actor, she's supposed to stretch, but how far do you really want to stretch?
Right.
How far do you want to take it?
My thing is that it's a story that you destroy some of the historical integrity. You take away from the character, and the whole point of acting is to honor the character. And you
when it's a real
away,
person,
right? Especially if it's a real person, you have to know I can't do this. This woman struggled with something that I can't be. Okay, whatever.
And a lot of people are equating it to Sherry Theron. Am I saying her name wrong? Right. And how
monster.
Right. And when she played it, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
She didn't become a lighter version or a darker version of who that character was supposed to be. And
I think it's different. Well, we'll talk about it when we come back. We got to break in just 10 seconds. Don't go anywhere. We're going to finish this because I have something I have to say about that. So.
Yeah.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BExposedRadio.com.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Are you getting your kids this hoverboard thing that's taking over the country? They range from $300 to $600. They're blowing up. And then I mean literally blowing up. That one video, I thought that was going to be the one and only video that I saw in reference to it, and it wasn't. Now I could probably tell you about 10 to 15 videos of this happening where this battery gets super, super hot and burns like holes into your tennis shoes.
Oh my.
And I know you would be pissed if you was wearing Jordans and you just paid all that money, you know, your lights are off. And
Especially if they're from China.
Your lights off.
Check out the Talk Lately show every Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. right here
Check
on
out
Be
this
Exposed
flashback
Radio.
of the Artist Exchange radio show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're going to get a little bit into the album with Miss Amira and learn the basis of it, the Banji soul of it all.
Yes.
So let us know, first of all, what is Banji soul?
Banji soul is basically just real. It's real soul. It's real. It's not cut down. It's not watered down. It's, you know, how as hot as it came off of my mind and my heart. That's what it is. And a lot of the times I get a little tangy, you know, tangy, banji, ratchet, whatever, however you like to put it, classify it. But I like to say banji, you know, because I'm classy.
Banji is a little classy.
It's a little classy. That's got your pinky up. You got your pinky up with that.
Okay, we got to keep the bees, the bougie, the banji.
Yeah.
All right.
So she's created her own lane, Banji soul. So let us know how that is covered in the album that released on the 9th of this month, right?
Yes. Well, I did it to a number of industry tracks, including like the Beatles come together, and I did a Lindsay Lohan joint. You remember the Confessions of a Broken Heart?
Okay.
And a lot of stuff I aimed to like change the theme that was originated, or just to. It was my therapy.
Okay.
It was my therapy.
So that's why this is a mixtape.
Yes.
Okay, because you did a lot of remakes. Okay, I got you.
The Artist Exchange radio show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
Be exposed. Be exposed. Radio.com.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
So for those who don't know what the Green Party is, and I'm going to be honest, I've been a resident of Baltimore City forever. I live in Baltimore County now, but and I never heard of the Green Party until I was introduced to you.
Yeah.
So what is the Green Party?
Well, the Green Party basically it's a political party that's independent outside of the Democratic Party that controls this city, have been controlling this city for 70 years or more. The Green Party is actually a grassroots political system that's basically there to speak for the people,
Wow.
be of the people, and to empower the people, and to fight for policy that's going to better the living of the people of the city. It's been around for quite some time.
Yes.
2000, yes, the Green Party has been here. We have been gaining momentum over the last few recent years, but the Green Party is stationed all over the nation, even in other countries, and we are making impact in those places. Not only there, but we're making impact here. I decided to change from being a Democrat and go to the Green Party because their core values, it really symbolized what a political party is supposed to be doing for the people of the city. So what you're supposed to do is to create policy that's going to enhance, opportunities for the citizens of the city, not ask for them to vote you in. And then when you get there, you have your own personal and political agenda.
And we've seen
and you make plans for the city, but the people are not included in the process. And that's what the grassroots party, the grassroots Green Party, that's what it is. It's a party that speaks for the people, it includes the people, and it fights on behalf of the people.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the station with all the hits and the Talk Lately Show weeknights at 7 p.m.
Check out what you missed on Weird Radio.
Well, first off, let me go ahead and shout out to my bird chest gang out there.
You already, nigga.
Shout out to y'all, man. $1.60 and below. We out here, baby. Strong.
It's winter time, man. It's our season, yo.
Strong. You feel me?
That shit goes straight to the bone, boy.
Yo, this not our season. Let me tell y'all right now, this is not our season, man. Stop playing out here with these windbreakers, because we feel the wind. It don't break shit. Stop playing yourself. You feel me? Straight up.
Wear sweatpants under your jeans.
Yo,
jeans ain't outside
basketball
clothes.
shorts and all that. Some of us don't got the time to sit there and go out and buy long johns. So take the basketball shorts, take them bigger jeans that you got that ain't your size. Come on now, don't front. We all got a size bigger. Don't front. I'm a 34. I got like 8 pairs of 36s. Don't ask me why.
I used to wear 36s
all day. We gotta hide ourselves, yo. We can't let the world see who we are, because if we see who we are, they're gonna point it out.
Really, I've never needed a fucking size.
Come on now,
36 jean in my entire life.
Never.
That was my
size is a 33. Only thing I'm finding that is if I'm going to court. McDonald's pants.
Actually,
32. Wow.
Yeah, man.
I'm scared for you. I want you to eat some more. I want y'all to call in, and I'd love for y'all to sit there and give my man Uncle Stello some beautiful recipes so my man can eat more.
Be sure to tune in to Weird Radio every Thursday and Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. right here on Be Exposed
So just
Radio.
type the job website address here. That's it. Then you enter what job you're looking for there.
Electrician. This is Peter. Recently, he got help going on the internet for the first time to look for a new job.
Okay, then you just hit search and...
In the past, Peter's gotten work through people he knew, but he heard there were more jobs online.
there we go.
These are all for me?
Uh-huh.
Really? He had no idea just how many. I can't believe it. This one looks good. Peter is thinking the internet might be for him after all.
And this is just one website.
Wow. Why didn't I do this sooner? See what the internet can help you do at everyoneon.org or call 1-855-387-9166 to find a free training class near you. Brought to you by Connect to Compete and the Ad Council.
Check out this crazy freestyle on Who Got Buzz.
But right now, it's a 2-minute drill. I did. Cue it up. I did. Oh! What? So, as always, the 2-minute drill is going to kick off. Who wants to take it first? I need the music. Turn it up just a little bit. Turn it up just a little bit. There we go. DP, since you're the guest of the evening, I want you to go ahead and kick it off.
So when you're walking like a guard and you talking like a guard, you could throw a couple jabs, you can even spit and spar. I got a line. Even though I dropped a couple lines with the grind, never shoot a couple dimes, you can have it. Balling like Jordan, but I'm feeling like Magic. Had a couple verses in these MC Scarlet Classic, but when you see me on the Racketeer, young resurrected soul of the young Emmett Till. Never lie, always had to keep it real. Shaquille up in the paint, I was the man to steal. When they put me on the Pac beat, low key, I made sure that I got up the paint and pitched the 3. Now I'm Steph Curry cooking it up or hooking it up. Shouts out to my niggas locked down, that's hooking it up. Back for the baked beans, niggas at the hot dog. Niggas say I'm hot dog, I'm fresh off the spot, dog. Put me in the place. Lyrics are uppercase, gotta mixtape my way like Wayne and dedicate, elevate, motivate my niggas all in the city. My lyrics are super dope and my bars are super witty. You can't even stick with me. So come and shoot when it comes to raising roof. I never lie, I tell the truth, raise the roof. I gotta bring the proof in the game, bring the roof to the chain, bring a tech to your name, nigga.
Check out Who Got Buzz every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Security Radio Show here live on BigSpaceRadio.com. If you get a chance to, definitely check out our website, www.beexposedradio.com. All of our updates, shows, schedules, all that on there. You can also get to us live here, either the YouTube, which we are live right now streaming, or you can also hit the listen live button and come directly to the show. But if you're listening, you already know that. But don't forget, we're also streaming live on YouTube, and you can actually listen to the entire show after the show anytime you want on YouTube. Just go to the Be Exposed Radio Show page. Give us a call, 410-702-5657, or you can text us if you're feeling a little shy at 443-642-9403. Joining us in the building are two phenomenal artists. One that I've gotten to know a little bit better, Miss Tiffany Jones. And I just met Mr. Sean Kinney not too long ago. And he's I love when you can do something that is outside of the box, but still have a frame of reference as a start point and an end point, and you do it. His light exhibit, I want to see it in person. It's one thing to see pictures of it, but to see that in person, I love. That's one of my favorite parts of theater, the lighting aspect, because you can really set a stage just with lighting and nothing else.
Yeah.
So hello, I'm gonna start with Tiffany.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Good.
She has the hair stories.
Yes.
The barbershop. Is it barbershop stories, hair stories?
You know what? I haven't even named that
Yeah,
part yet. But the one with the women is hair. It's called hair. And the men's version, I'm trying to think of a good name right now. So I need to think fast because the show's coming up. That's a good one. I might use that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I met her actually through the Artist U Project program that they have here in Baltimore. Our version of it here in Baltimore. And I got to know her a little bit. And then we actually sit down and had a nice conversation a few times. And then I participated in her hair stories.
Yeah.
And a phenomenal project, and something that I think people don't think of. Like the conversations that happen in a barbershop will blow your mind. You just never
Definitely.
know. From the obscure conversations to like the politically
Solving
driven
world
and
problems.
hot topics. Right. Guys get just as deep as the ladies do in the
Right.
barbershop.
You wouldn't think it, but they do.
They do. They do. And she's been a fly on the wall now, so she understands it. So tell us a little bit more about your background, what you do, and
Yeah. I'm an artist. I do mainly photography, but a lot of my work usually goes beyond the frame. So I've done installation work and mixed media work. And a lot of it has to do with the community, specifically the Black community, a woman, and just my perspective on the world, or society's assumptions and how, we view each other, and just different things that may be happening in our lives, depending on what time of the moment is kind of where my art goes. And it's really interesting because the hair series, I didn't think it would get that much talk going. I don't know why, but I guess I'm always thinking about my hair. I don't think of it as art or whatever. It's just it's my hair. It's part of me. And when I did the hair series last year with the I think it was 3 women that I photographed in Lexington Market area, a lot of people responded to it really well. And so I was like, well, I should continue that. And that was just like the tip of the iceberg. I wasn't really talking about one specific thing about women in their hair, but just the idea of it as a whole. And then now that is starting to take different directions. Like now, April 3rd at New Beginnings Barbershop will be the men's version. And I'm talking about how the barbershop has been a staple in the Black community. But I'm also referencing hair because I found out so much history and how hair has affected a lot of our identity as being,
or lack thereof.
Right, or lack thereof. Right, exactly. And especially within the Black community, and how the barbershop is this staple within our community. And Rhea Beckett, who's actually the curator for the show, she was like, you're going to be in a barbershop, do what you do. And I was like, okay. And, now it's really starting to take form. And So I have some photography in it, and then I have some mixed media pieces in it too. So
And the project that you are part of, a larger project, is a 3-part project. I know you told me Bashi's gonna be doing Shake and Bake.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he's doing, that's a film project. If you don't know Bashi Rose, he's this 1,000-foot tall gentleman, and he has an awesome eye for film. And I can't wait to see what
I'm
his
excited for that
is.
too.
And what's the third
The
part?
third location is New Door Creative Gallery.
Okay.
And don't know his name offhand, but there's another artist there. So it starts April 3rd, and then so each location is going to have their own event, and the whole show is called Black Space.
Oh, okay.
So it's looking at these different locations and the significance of them within the Black community.
I know, in speaking to her about the barbershop portion of it, it really gets to, because you have men who won't say anything in their normal life, but the moment they go into their normal barbershop, their routine, you see men that have these political views, and that you would be like, you know this? Like, where did this come from?
Right.
Or they talk about stuff that is not typical in our community, and you just hear things. And that was part of what Tiffany did. She just sit us down and, what is your story? What is your connection and to the barbershop, and what was your story? And it was definitely an interesting process, and hearing some of them.
And what's really interesting is not everybody has the same experience. So you think like, oh yeah, all men go to the barbershop, they all experience and talk about the same thing. No, I've had a couple of stories where people didn't have a good experience. I have some that talked about, they relocated to Baltimore and they couldn't find a barber, so they learned how to cut their own hair. So that's where that other element of hair and your connection and your identity comes in, without the barbershop itself, but you still had some type of experience with it where you had to learn something on your own to take care of yourself. So,
because it definitely cost is a factor.
Yeah.
And a barber timing, because a barber has to be somebody who you are friends with. Like, if your barber is not in your cell phone, then I don't really think that's your barber. Like, it definitely is that strong for me. Like, I gotta be able to call you and be like, hey, what's going on? Because I don't want to wait when I get there, or I don't want to be in line. I want to come in and get right out, or whatever the experience is. But that's definitely, people don't think it's that deep, but it's that deep.
And it's really intimate too. If you think about just the physical body language of getting your hair cut, and you're in this chair, and you have to have some type of connection with someone to be able to get that close to your face.
Yes,
you're
scissors.
trusting them with your outer appearance, but still just being this close in proximity, you're got to reach over them, and so it's a very intimate experience that people don't think about it that way, but when you start to really break it down, you're like, oh, wait a minute.
Right. Just like with women going into the hair salon, it's definitely that. But you've done stories, now you're blending the stories, because you're talking to now women who go to the barbershop as well. So I'm quite sure that's a totally different experience. Whether you, like, I prefer a woman barber over a male barber, because I feel like they're more, they'll pluck out the ingrown hairs. They'll be more attentive to what I really need in that moment. I'm not saying I've never had a male barber that does that, but women barbers have that leg up because they're coming from mostly a hair salon experience, and then they've gotten into being a barber. So it definitely does have its pros and cons, but everybody has their preference. I know I like to go on Mondays, and barbershops are not open on Mondays. So so that's my best day to go. But finding a barber who is willing to come in on a Monday is like, oh, you're my barber because you're awesome. You fit my schedule.
Right.
So the whole idea of it was very fascinating to me. So I can't wait to see the bigger picture of it.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't think it would be finished, because that's going to open up other things.
Yeah, it's definitely opening a lot more stuff. And I'm like, Tiffany, you got to, keep in mind, you only got this much space and this much time. So it's a continuing story. And for another branch of it, I'm going to be looking at it through going back to women and how the bonding happens between mother and child, or sisters, or grandchildren and grandmother, and that whole process of doing hair. So that's like my next venture.
Oh,
so that's a little sneak peek.
I have some ideas.
Okay, then. Yeah, I definitely would talk about that.
Yeah. Because I got some stories.
Yeah. She got my mind moving now. So we're going to switch over to Sean and speak to him about what he does, who he is, his background and all. So how's it going, sir?
It's going very well.
Going,
Thanks for
sir?
having me on.
Anytime. I saw your post in a couple groups, and I was fascinated by the light art and how do you do it? Because like I said, we're coming from theater, so we understand what light can do. When you manipulate it and you put certain gels or certain restrictions around it, what the possibilities are. So I would love to hear your point of view and how you got to do this. When did it start?
So I've always had a strong interest in physics, quantum mechanics. Certainly, I'm an artist. So those converged 2003, 2004, and through a photography class of all things.
Oh,
and then
that exposure,
in a way, and so I started to explore that, documenting light, creating prints. And then my mentor, when I was attending the Corcoran, she wanted me to just create the installations. So from that point on, I've been primarily all installation. So the approach has been to look at an empty space, wherever that is. I've done some with mannequins. I've done it primarily in a room facility, and I'm looking to bring to light, no pun intended, the invisible. And so I break apart a beam of light. It's always usually one light source, an LED bulb. There's no gels. There's nothing artificial. And I'll work with sunlight. I'll work with, like I said, the LED because of the temperature and things like that. And so I break apart a beam of light using the physics properties of light, and then bring that back together and project it on the wall. But theoretically, my art is about, like I said earlier, emptiness and fullness. And there's a psychological component to that as well. So I have a strong interest in Jungian psychology that explores that. So if you really think emotionally, we're either empty or full. I also look at art that way. If you look at art, there's either this emptiness, coldness in art, or there's this fullness of expression. And so I'm exploring that as well.
That's awesome. So you're new to Baltimore.
Yes.
So what brought you here? Especially coming from Pennsylvania.
Actually, I recently, I've lived in Northern Virginia, went through a divorce, ended up in Delaware for a short time. I met Stacy, who's sitting here. She can't say hi, but if you want to go to my Facebook page, you see this beautiful redhead on the by my side. And, anyways, we broke up. I lived in Delaware for a little bit, and we decided we're going to get back together, and we looked at Baltimore because of the art scene, the affordability, the opportunities. Here we are.
Well, you're in a great city to explore, because Baltimore is definitely going through an explosion of I want to try this, let me try this. And space and opportunity is definitely a factor. Affordability, we're learning that it's more affordable than what we think, because a lot of us have tried to go other places and be like, no, I think I'm gonna come back here.
Right.
Because it's so accessible, and it's still accessible to everything.
Absolutely.
So we can get to New York or Philly or
fly
Atlanta.
out to BWI and head to Berlin or something like that.
So it's very affordable and very convenient to other places. But we're going to take a quick break real quick. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You are now listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Be exposed, be exposed, radio.com.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
So we're gonna get a little bit into the album with Miss Amira and learn the basis of it, the Banji soul of it all.
Yes.
So let us know, first of all, what is Banji soul?
Banji soul is basically just real. It's real soul. It's real. It's not cut down. It's not watered down. It's, how as hot as it came off of my mind and my heart. That's what it is. And a lot of the times I get a little tangy, banji, ratchet, whatever how you like to put it, classify it. But I like to say banji, because I'm classy.
Banji is a little classy.
It's a little classy. That's got your pinky up.
Right.
Got your pinky up with that.
Okay, we got to keep the bees, the bougie, the banji.
Yeah.
Right.
So she's created her own lane, Banji Soul. So let us know how that is covered in the album that released on the 9th of this month, right?
Yes. Well, I did it to a number of industry tracks, including like the Beatles Come Together, and I did a Lindsay Lohan joint. You remember the Confessions of a Broken Heart?
Okay.
And a lot of stuff I aimed to like change the theme that was originated, or just to. It was my therapy.
Okay.
It was my therapy.
So that's why this is a mixtape.
Yes.
Okay, because you did a lot of remakes. Okay, I got you.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com. Be exposed. Be exposed. Radio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. We're here live in the building. We were finishing up the conversation with Sean and how he got to where he is. Just getting to Baltimore. Tell us a little bit about, we were sharing on the break, the different aspects of what you do. So share a little bit about the different aspects of the art that you find yourself loving.
Loving?
It has to start with love.
Yes, it starts with passion, compulsion, regret, and then joy.
A little crazy, just a little
well,
crazy.
definitely crazy. I think my boys are listening and they know I'm crazy. and anybody that knows me well, if they think I'm normal, they don't know me that well.
Look a little deeper. Be patient.
Get beyond the walls.
But what are the different aspects of the art, like the different mediums that you find yourself in?
Well, now it's all light. However, started out as a painter. Of course, I was painting, peach bowls and things like that. But it just wasn't for me. I started to incorporate emptiness, empty space, negative space. I have the 2 series in particular that I did very well with. It was called the Sunset series, and then this charcoal series. And it was just a few lines and then an empty canvas. And it gave the essence of a figure, a woman, a male, and worked with that. Then like I said, I took this digital photography class at the Corcoran. I wish, forgive me, but I forget his name. But Frank.
He got paid.
He was better than got paid. He got me going. And then, so then I started making art out of drywall, art out of duct tape, and started documenting light. And then I guess the next path was Annette Poland down. She was a teacher at the Corcoran portrait class of all things, and she pushed me, and I'm very thankful she pushed me. She called me a hardhead, but I finally got there, and now I've been exploring light in all aspects.
So everything that you've been able to get into or learn, light or the manipulation of light, all got you. It was always the end result. So
yes,
portrait, figuring out lighting.
Absolutely. I write poetry as well.
Oh, how about that?
So how the pen hits the paper as the light touches.
Well, if you think about it, right, words are an expression of art, and talk about being in a way bringing something into the emptiness. The spoken word, of course, is that way, and so I write. The poetry is always about light, art, and love, or light, love, and God.
Okay. So how do you go ahead?
Well, I was just going to say that we've heard from both of them and have a really good idea of what it is that they do. What are some of the things that you find challenging, or maybe even a little, I don't know, in looking at art as a whole, having careers that span several years or so? What is it that you find speaks the least to you, or you find most, I guess the word that was used was avoid. I was told to ask a question. So is there a type of art that you avoid that you're like, it's not really my cup of tea?
Surrealism. They can have it. Why is that? A long time ago, I loved it because it was new. I was painting peach bowls, and then there's the cool surrealist. But not as well. When I say surrealist, I'm thinking Dali. Right? I do love Duchamp. So if you consider him, even though he's Dada, you consider him on that side of the art world. And then Man Ray, I definitely like Man Ray. But I love the idea of dreams, and I love the idea of different views of reality. I actually have a strong interest in the DMT, and I've never taken anything to bring me there. I might.
The day's still young.
The day's still young. But if I had a friend of mine say, I took magic mushrooms and I saw these purple birds flying against the green sky. I said, oh, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it.
Wow.
I didn't have to be in that state.
But some people have to be disoriented to really
To
see
observe
what
it.
certain artists can see just by thought.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, here's the weird side of me. There's no such thing as complete darkness, right?
Mhm.
So what did I do? I locked myself. I had a studio at my one house, had a closet, completely dark. So I put myself in there and I said, all right, I want to see how dark it can get. Well, what do I see? I don't know. What are they? Atoms? I'm not sure. Little red dots, little blue dots.
And that's your eye reflecting
Yeah.
the space that you.
Yeah, and so then think about it. When we dream, how many of us dream and don't see something? We all see light. So that's where this whole DMT and inside the mind is very interesting to me. And that documentary DMT, they talk about those variations of light in such a short time period. And it's
because they're totally focused on the dream itself and not the elements that make it up.
Right. So there is a whole reality that I'm exploring with my art. And it's not just one component.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to pay some bills yet again. We'll be right back here after this.
I do avoid
break.
that.
We're going to take a quick break here. Don't forget to give us a call, 410-702-5657, and talk art. It's very seldom that we have visual artists. So come on back, listen in, call in, text in. We'll be right back.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Students, when you hear the reason or reasons for your absences throughout the years, please exit the auditorium without your high school diploma. Once you've exited, remove your cap and gown and proceed into the unknown. Too tired. Family trip. Part-time job. Helping around the house. Sick day. Starting the holidays early. Just because.
Starting in the 6th grade, students who miss 18 days or more of school in a year for any reason will fall behind and risk not graduating high school. How many days of school has your child missed this year? Absences add up. Keep track at boostattendance.org today. Brought to you by the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
It's Kenyon Parson with Weird Radio, where everybody is really dope. Check out this flashback.
You know, how you ended it. I've never actually broken up with someone. I've only done it once. I've always gotten dumped.
I have always gotten dumped.
Man.
I've never broken up with someone.
Yeah.
A few of them just kind of, we moved away and we never.
You know what? I have had one of the ones where it was a unspoken breakup. Like she knew what it was. I knew what it was. And we just, yeah, man. You've never had that happen?
No.
Oh,
how old are you again?
22.
20. Yeah, I'll be 22 on March 5th.
He'll be 22? Oh, damn, you're such a baby. It's cute.
But I've never gotten broken up with. I've always done a breaking up.
Hey,
it'll happen. Oh, well, okay, hold on. Since we got some.
I'm telling the truth. Shut up, Nate.
All right, let's tell us about it. Tell us about the breakup. When you, when did you feel like? Did you just like, all right, I'm done, cool? And
yeah.
You
were
just
tired of her. That, but it was like legit reasons. Like, all right, so my first breakup, she was 24 and I was 20. So yeah, 2 kids. She was crazy.
Right.
Like crazy. Like it started off like, oh, she would be upset when I would go away to do the radio show. And I wouldn't be able to text her because I'm working. You can't.
It's my job
when I'm working. So it started off like you said, like, oh, that's just her. She's quirky.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's like, oh, she cares and she's clingy. I like that.
Yeah, right.
So it just started getting crazier and crazier, and she just got crazy. Like she started punching walls. And
oh nah. At least she wasn't hitting you.
Cause I used to skateboard, so I would go out and skateboard with my friends, and she'd be like, "Why you don't ever take me?" It's like, you have 2 kids, you can't go.
Yeah,
You got a babysitter back.
You got stuff to do.
You got things to do, and their names are Boom and Boom. So I can't keep laying around with you. I have a life as well. So
be sure to tune in live Tuesday and Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. with myself and Kenyon, giving it to you on Be Exposed Radio.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back. We're here. And I love the fact that we're not talking about cheeseburgers. We're talking about food that we got frozen. But we're back here with Miss Tiffany Jones, Mr. Sean Kinney. I'm here real quick. Throw out your social media sites. Where can we find you? What events do you have coming up?
Oh boy. So Instagram is Tiffany J _photography. Facebook is Tiffany J. My whole name's Tiffany Jones. You should be able to find me on there somewhere. And stuff coming up. Let's see. The barbershop show at New Beginnings Barbershop, which is in Holland's across the street from Holland's Market in the Sowebo area. That's April 3rd. And also, I am working with an organization called Baltimore's Gifted, and we are looking for the youth in Baltimore, 13 to 21. If you make art, we have a platform for you to sell and make money and be an entrepreneur with your art. So baltimoresgifted.com, please visit and submit your work. It's going to be a rolling process. We're doing the first round, so you have until the end of this month to submit, and then we'll do another round later. But to be in the first pick, let's do it now.
Baltimore Gifted.
Baltimore's with an S.
Okay.
Gifted.
Okay.
.com.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And that New Beginnings crowd, just going by there, they are lively. I love when they sit outside and do the haircut.
Yes. Yes. Troy Stan over there is good.
Mr. Sean, let us know where we can find you. What's coming up?
Sure thing. From a social media standpoint, certainly my website. First one is smklight.com or SeanMichaelKenny.com. That's spelled SEAN, the real Irish way. And then certainly on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, combination of either Sean Michael Kenny or SMK Light. So you'll be able to find me. In terms of exhibition, working on a project that's going to come up, 2 projects that are coming up the end of this month, early April. First one is called The Maelstrom, and it is going to be at Hotel Brexton in Mount Vernon. Bob Glock and I have worked, and Lorraine Inwald. We've all sort of collaborated to make this project go. And for those of you that want to help support the project, I have a GoFundMe campaign, $5, $10, anything you guys can do that would be great. The lens costs, just so you know, anywhere from $25 to $100.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not stretching canvas. I am making that. And those are the cheap lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get into the real high-tech ones, and I can't afford those yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, right?
That's right. No, it's going to happen. I know it. Anybody sees my work knows it's going to happen. I'm not worried about it. The next project, I'm working with Caprice Jackson and her team. It's going to be at the Bromo Seltzer Tower. She is creating this fashion in light show, of which I'm going to have a couture there. And this couture is actually the one I showed at Lord Baltimore right around Christmas time.
Okay.
And so that's going to be part of that show. So if you look at my website, click on the couture, you'll see what that looks like. So those are the next 2 projects. And then I'm also talking with Gallery 788 to put something together with the couture for the, is it called
Oh, the erotica show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have some ideas, and if you've ever met Eduardo, he's pretty awesome.
They do a lot of great work there, 788.
Yeah,
a lot of work. They are constantly working there.
Yeah.
So getting us on topic for today, a space to be creative. I was sharing a little bit of my story in the beginning. For artists, having space to be who you are is so important. Whether it's a little space in your home or like Tiffany, she was on a mad search for that artist space, and she actually found it.
Yes.
I'm down at Gallery
School 33.
Yes. Where was I thinking? School 33. And that's how I met her, talking about having this space, and now seeing the space, she has definitely made it home. So both of you, I'll start with Tiffany, but sharing with us, what's that space for you, and have you found it yet?
Yeah, I had such a hard time trying to find studio space that was affordable in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I was working on my little laundry room in the basement, and it's kind of difficult because, you know, to a certain extent, I could do what I needed to do on my computer because I'm doing photography. But if I had an idea, I felt like I was trapped in this little tiny box, and all my projects were like this big, and everybody was like, "Go bigger, go bigger." I'm like, I can't. Physically, I can't.
Exactly.
So, and then just the whole, you know, I have a family, I have a home, I do have a life. So the distractions were hard, and, you know, you'll look at your artwork, look at your bed, look at your artwork, go to bed.
Right.
And so it was very important. I was on a mission. I was like, I am going to find a space. I went to old warehouses, I went to commercial spaces, I went to actual art studios. Nothing I could afford, or it just wasn't safe for me to be in there,
right.
or I didn't feel comfortable to be in there, or I had to share it with somebody,
right.
and I was like, I don't know them, and I can't trust them. How they gonna? What if they don't pay the rent?
Right.
You know, that messes me up.
Right.
So, after a long search, I never really looked at School 33. It's kind of in an awkward space. It's in Federal Hill, but it's like on the end, not the end, but close to the end of Light Street.
Right.
And some people really don't even know it's there, surprisingly. But it's ran by Bopa, who also does Bromo. And it's a great space. It's very nice. It's very spacious. The light is amazing that comes in there. And they give you a lot of opportunities. So their program is really great in helping you, you know, work and making you work.
Great for a first time studio.
Right.
buyer.
First time. And then even some of the artists that are in there were there some years ago, left, and came back. So that just goes to show like how much people really appreciate it. But having a separate space and like really taking the time to own it and make it your own, my ideas are like flying out the window now, because I'm like, oh, now I can do this, I could do this. You know, I feel more comfortable when I have clients come, or I do open studios. So if people want to come and hang out, talk, you know, I have that ability to be more creative. So now it's been very good.
How do you keep yourself from not staying there all night long? Or are we at that point yet?
So you see Malia, my daughter, sitting here. I don't. How do I keep myself from not staying there so long? So I've been there till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So, I mean, it's hard. You just have to really make a schedule. And it's just, yeah, my family says that's my real home. So you just have to make a schedule so you don't overwork yourself. But, you know, when I'm there, I'm not always physically hands-on creating artwork. Sometimes I'm just there to just brainstorm. I have this little corner that's like, I call it my feng shui corner. I have like my candles. I got some pictures of family. And, you know, it's very relaxing, where I just go there and either decompress or really brainstorm and get stuff out, and kind of like makes me sane.
It's a good balance. It's a great balance. But Sean, let us know, do you have a studio, or what's that creative space for you?
Yeah, there you go. I live in my studio. It's actually my apartment. And pretty much wherever I'm at, I can use as a studio. So I had some rough times. I lived with my father in a small little room for about a year. And that little room became my art studio. Moved to Baltimore. In the living room, one side of the living room is where my art studio is.
Okay.
And no, I have not found that perfect spot. I had a real nice studio. It was actually a very nice time in my life where I was just in I wasn't showing any work. I was just in my studio creating work. I have 4 boys, Joey, Tommy, Robbie, Michael. So if you guys are listening, hey guys, how you doing? And it was nice because it was a 20 by 10 room, and it dominates the room. And how big is our room now? That's got to be like 20 by 30, 10-foot ceilings. So it dominates the room. So it's perfect. Wow. Unless, of course, you're my girlfriend. Right? And, but she's very patient and understands.
You have to be, because art will take over the house.
Art has taken over the house.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's, it's good. I remember I showed artwork in Batista Fine Art in DC. And he said, hey, if you can do anything with the closet, go for it. And there was a little coat closet. Next thing he knows, I got the sledgehammer out, and I've taken over his little, you were there, weren't you? Yeah, I took over this little closet. He comes in, he's like, what are you doing? You told me I could take over the closet. So I created this small piece, about 2 by 3 foot.
Oh, wow.
And in the closet, it was actually Revelation on my website that was in there. Oh. And then you have Breathe, which is pretty close to my favorite piece. Where it is there's this ball of light that moves across the wall, and then it explodes.
Oh, wow.
And then the light just fills up, and it's a stereographic projection, more or less. And
how important is having a space to both of you? I've heard you say it, but that space to be, like, for me, my kitchen, like, I still have a big space to cook, but my table became my artist space. And then I made a cognizant decision, like, I'm gonna have to eat in the front room because it's no more possible to eat here anymore. But it's definitely, I could not be creative as far as making jewelry for myself. I knew I couldn't do it in my room. Because, like you said, you'll look at the bed, look at the art, and you'll definitely go to bed. Or you'll have all those supplies on the bed. And I was like, I can't have a healthy relationship. I can't if everything is in my bed or in my room, period. It just felt cluttered, and I didn't want to be in my room anymore, because it would be, when I didn't feel like being creative, that's what it would be. But having a space whereas though you have more of a work-live space and you have that separation, what's the difference for you and not being in your home versus being in your home?
Yeah, the difference for me, at least, is that you learn more about yourself, especially as an artist in your artistic experience. And, at home, I'm not the only artist. My daughter does art too, but it's just different being in a mindset where you have a million other things going on, especially when you have children, you have a partner, and then...
Or just you distracting yourself.
Yeah, you distracting yourself, exactly. So
I'll just go watch TV for a few hours.
Right. So it's just very important for me, because I feel like I'm free.
Mhm.
I don't feel so boxed in.
Hold on, we're gonna take another quick break. We have to pay the bills here.
Yes. Oh, man.
That's the place of having a studio. You gotta do your...
Right, you gotta pay the bills.
So we'll be right back after this quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone. From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on two things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Be exposed. Be exposed. Radio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Late at night, and you walk, and there's these three people standing, and we would be like, and we finally had to take these things out because they were just too creepy, like these people in our living room.
You can tell that story.
No, I don't.
But she just did, because we're technically on air right now.
That's Stacy. Put your headphones on.
That's a common thread, because I had a mannequin that I used to take pictures of my jewelry on, and I definitely had to get rid of that, because coming into your living room at the end of the night, and it's like looking back at you. Then I tried to move it downstairs to the front door, and people would like come to the door, and it'd be dark, and be like, I don't want to creep people, so it became our emergency person, our protection almost. Yeah. But coming back to the question of what is your creative space and what's the difference in having a workspace that is also your home versus separate from your home? And I'll ask Sean that question.
Yeah. So for me, I actually create a lot of art in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand now, after years of working with light, what each lens will do and what each component, light, etc., will do. And I don't necessarily have the final product because it always evolves, but I'll sit there and stare at a blank wall for a very long time. I will be walking down the street thinking of the blank wall that I was staring at, creating the art. So I have not, for years, I have not been limited to studio space. It's great. I truly wish my ideal space is a large space,
right?
Almost not quite warehouse, but maybe a mini warehouse.
But you could probably show your work and not just build it, because it's hard when you do installations to conceptualize it in one space for another space, that you haven't even seen yet.
Right, and anytime that I contract to do an installation, I let them know things are going to change.
Mhm.
And what's really fun is I'm thinking of refraction when I set that up there with Jim Quigley. He was part of the process, which was cool. So, I mean, my work is also process related, and it's not about perfection, although it looks perfect once it's created. But there's, as I reinstall certain projects, they end up a little bit different, and it's kind of nice.
Well, light is kind of unpredictable because it is, if you're using natural lighting, that's definitely going to be different depending on what time of day, the space that you're in, and even using an artificial light source. It really depends on, again, the time of day, how much natural light is in the room. So it's never really the same, and I guess that's the fun part of it, because you never really know what the outcome is going to be until
it's
you're in
always
it.
creative.
Right, exactly. It's all continuously going.
Right.
So where are some of your are there any places in town that you would want to do some more installation work? Or
of course, I live here in Baltimore. Everywhere that I lived in rural Virginia and then a little bit in Delaware. So there were some spaces, but it seems like there's so much opportunity for my work here in Baltimore. Certainly, as I grow, I want to have a strong presence in New York City. So, you know, I'm still a young man, so I'm working on it.
Baltimore is turning into a studio in and of itself, where you can go other places and produce your work. But Baltimore it feels like that home studio space where you can come and rebuild and recreate and rejuvenate and then go show to the world. I've met this artist, Miss Poole, and that's one of the things she said. You can be an international artist from anywhere.
Yeah.
And why not make it a place where you are comfortable, it's affordable, and you can still get to wherever you want to go and jumpstart everywhere you want to go. But thinking globally on a local level. So having Baltimore as a place to live is not a bad thing, because you can still do anything from here and go from here to do anything.
With Sean's work in particular, like you said, we live here in downtown in the Bromo Arts District. And as we walk through the city and we see a lot of the abandoned buildings and spaces that are vacant, those are like blank, perfect canvases for light art installations.
Yes.
So that we see a lot of opportunity.
The
there.
possibilities are infinite. Being a photographer or filmographer now, did I say it right?
Videographer.
I keep saying filmographer. I don't know. I just created a new terminology. Take it.
It's all good. It's all good. Yes.
It's infinite. Baltimore is definitely a place where things have always been from, but people have had the Baltimore side. But now we're at a space where people want to see Baltimore and see all the different aspects of it. And being an artist, you definitely get that advantage point. But yet again, we're going to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't forget to check us out. We're live streaming on YouTube. Also, give us a call, 410-702-5657, or you can text us at 443-642-9403. I almost forgot it, just that quick. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Drug, alcohol, and gambling addiction can be devastating for you and your loved ones. Don't let the disease of addiction ruin everything you have worked so hard for. If you or a loved one is suffering from a drug, alcohol, or gambling addiction, call now and get a free confidential consultation. Help is only a phone call away. Call 1-877-867-3063. That's 1-877-867-3063.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
but I know you're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up. Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
That the focus does need to be back on the family unit. What you think, Sabrina?
Definitely.
Yes.
I mean, it definitely would resolve and solve a lot of community issues.
Yes. And not just families, right? Healthy families.
Yes.
We want healthy families,
Yes.
healthy men.
Yes. Yeah.
So stability there.
Yes. Healthy. That's the key.
Yeah.
And whole.
Yes.
Because we got a lot of broken. I mean, and the thing about it is each family has something that they're going through. But the key is to be able to deal with it in a healthy way, to cope with the issues. There's no family that is without some kind of issue that they deal with. But if we teach the families on how to cope with it, talk about it, get family counseling, have family meetings.
Absolutely.
These things those are the things that create the healthy family,
help build it.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely help build it.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Be exposed. Be exposed. Radio.com.
Okay.
Hi, I'm LeVar Burton, and I'm proud to be a book person. How do I choose a book? Sometimes it's the cover, sometimes it's the title. I guess I'm pretty visual. If a book's really impressing me and the writing is really good, I will peek and see what the last paragraph is, because the endings of books should rock you. I am a book person, and if you're a book person too, read to a child and spark a lifetime of ambition. Join me at bookpeopleunite.org, because reading is fundamental. A public service announcement brought to you by Reading is Fundamental, Library of Congress, and the Ad Council.
This is Kenyon Parson of Weird Radio, where everybody is really dope. Check out this flashback. With making drugs illegal, first off, you create this mindset because everybody does drugs. Everybody does drugs. You call whatever your drug what you want, it's a drug. It's something that you ingest to affect your state of being. Food, technically, is a drug. You need it, but it is a drug.
I'm not gonna lie. I kind of agree. You put a Five Guys burger in front of me.
Those don't exist in nature,
and
those are completely unnatural. Right, it's a whole different person.
Do you see the way the cheese oozes off the side of that thing, and the bacon? Oh God, I'm sorry, my fat man came out.
That does sound fucking delicious.
Oh my God.
I'm actually hungry, so fuck you.
But no, fuck you. You got a piece of vegan red velvet cake in front of you. Shut up.
It's delicious. Vegans. But so that's the one part. One, just simply making something illegal ramps up the price, it lowers the supply, and it makes people want it more. Just because it's illegal. It's something that I'm not supposed to have. I think I want it. Let me try it out to see what the hubbub's about first. Two, there are places that have legalized not just weed, all drugs. You want to go get some meth? Go get some meth. And right after you get your meth and you freak out, you can go right over to that clinic and they'll help you out right there. Oh, right on. Yeah.
I wouldn't advise doing it though.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm just saying
that's not a good idea at all.
But I'll tell you this: the country, let's say our overdose rate for meth is 40% of all meth-related whatevers are overdoses. They drop that down to like 3% because they focus on treatment. You can go into a center. They'll give you your drugs. They'll give you your needles. You use them in the building with people there who have life-saving medicine. There are doctors there who can check you out right there As soon as you start freaking out, like you ain't got to go nowhere. You haven't been tweaking for 12 hours and been in some dumpster for 4, and then they find you. Nah, you're right there. You get your help, no overdoses, and then to top it off, because that's just for people who use. For people who don't, guess what? They still don't. Just allowing something does not mean that people are going to do it. Because if people want to do it, they're going to do it whether you want them to or not.
Be sure to tune in live Tuesday and Friday from 6 to 7 p.m. with myself and Kenyon giving it to you on Be Exposed Radio.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
If I was on the road with things, I think that's the opposite reason in that room, because it's so close, but yet it's so dark. But you felt like you were taking that dive over the cliff. I don't like watching those movies. I don't.
Would I be able to read a poem at some point?
Yes, we can do that. You on? Yep. Hey, welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live on BeExposedRadio.com. We're here live in the building. We have Miss Tiffany Jones, photographer and videographer.
You using that word heavy.
I do.
I feel like he's raising that bar up, and I got some new commitments or something.
Because you had started doing more video.
Yeah.
And I guess this is it audio or
it's gonna for this exhibition with the hair, it's gonna be audio because we don't have the space or the technology to really do video. So it's gonna be audio, but who knows?
It feels like it's gonna be a documentary. I know I'm speaking that into it, but the way you did it, it just seemed real documentary to me. Where what's the one with Chris Rock?
Good Hair.
Good Hair. It just another perspective on that concept. But it felt that way. I would love to see that. But that's me.
Stay tuned.
So
discount anything.
Mr. Sean Michael Kinney, he's also a poet. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
So he said he's going to do a little bit of poetry for us.
Sure.
So if you're ready, you can gear that up.
I write poetry about light, love, and God. So as I approach these, I don't write many poems, but I write enough, 2, 3, maybe a year.
When it inspires you, that's when it comes out.
Right. So I wrote this one. This is probably one of my favorites, on my website again. So it's called I Run. I run for the hunters after me. The snake, I scream, please rescue me. Break the glass, shatter my insanity. Mirror reflections twisted just the same. In pursuit, my foolish game. Wisdom's lies, for I see above, beneath, within. There's no And I wrote this poem called Feel. And so that is the concept. Includes the program. It is 7 exhibition spaces and or 7 floors, 7 rooms. And then this project comes together. And then, yes, certainly I would read the poem at that venue. Maybe others, but definitely Feel.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we got a lot of possibilities brewing up. We got documentaries and such. But it has definitely been awesome speaking to you. But both of you being parents, how has that been not so much a pro or con, but how has that been being a parent and then being an artist? Because naturally we want our children to do what we do or the exact opposite. Like, I don't want this for you at all. But how has your children been able to either take on, are your sons artists, or I know your daughter is an artist, but you have a son as well?
I have a godson,
Okay.
but no, he's not into art. He likes to draw, but he's not really into art. But no, I think that for me at least, she's been my muse. She has been inspiring to me for me to be my best self. And one of my professors, Colette over at Micah, in the photo department, she really connected with me because she had 2 daughters of her own. And when I was at Micah, Malia was a little bit older. And, I used to feel, bad sometimes because I'm like, I feel like, I'm struggling between doing this and being a parent and making sure I'm a good parent. And she was like, you're already doing fine. You're being the role model she needs to see.
Exactly.
And, ever since she told me that, I just took that and I was showing her that no matter what you want to do, whether it's with art or not in art, you do the best that you can in that moment and don't be afraid to try new things. So hopefully I've been having some impact on her. But she no, she's a great kid.
Let's hear a little bit from her. You can't tell me that you're an artist. I'm an art teacher, so you can't tell me you're an artist, and you got to be able to express yourself. So let us know a little bit about you.
Come on, Miss. She's shy. It's about her. It's about her.
So just real quick, just let us know what you do as an artist, and then I'll leave you alone.
I don't know. I don't know what I do. I just.
Why are you an artist?
Because I enjoy it. I enjoy making stuff.
So you paint, you draw, you scribble little pictures on the wall, like.
Yeah. Also taking up in ceramics.
Okay. So you have a lot of patience, because that takes a lot of patience. So would you want to follow in your mom's steps and like go to Micah or go to school for art, or do you have other?
I want to go to school for art, but I don't want to go to Micah.
So where would you want to go?
I want to go out of town.
She want to get away from it.
She's trying to fly the nest.
What grade are you in now?
11.
Oh, wow. Well, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
So she said, I'm thinking she got a couple years.
Nah, I'm ready.
So what school do you go to now?
Lansdowne High School.
Okay. So you're ready.
Right.
So what else outside of art, what other interests do you have?
Like putting together fashion, hair, all of that stuff.
So we're going to talk. See, you have to be able to express those things. Well, I'm going to tell you, as an artist, one of the things that is very important is talking to people, because you never know, somebody else on that side may have a connection to something you want, but because you didn't say anything, it's going to take you a lot harder to get to that same goal if you just open up. Everybody can't be a connection for you, but just telling your story, not being afraid, and you older now, so you're not in middle school. I'm thinking she's like in middle school or something.
Yeah, she's got baby face.
Yeah, so you have to, right now, you have to be more assertive. You have to not so much know what it is you want, because this is still an exploring point in your life, but get out there and not be afraid to tell people what it is that you like to do, because once it's outside of your head, then it can grow and shape and mature, and then you'll know exactly what it is that you want to do. So I'm sitting here talking to a middle school young lady. You got it right. You got to get it down. But you also have a project possibly coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about that? The mural. No.
Oh, me.
Yes, we're still on you, ma'am.
I don't know if I'm in it yet, but I applied to this the Jubilee Arts to do murals around the city.
Okay. So you wouldn't mind doing that aspect as well as fashion and
Yes. I always wanted to paint one of those. I always see them around the city, and I wonder like who paints them.
So did you have to like propose a project or?
I had to draw a bike.
Oh wow! Okay.
It came out decent. But they didn't ask too much for it. It was just like an interview, and then I guess they just wanted to see what your art skills were.
Okay. So I'm not gonna mess with you anymore, but you're in 11th grade, so I may just so happen get into that. So Sean, being a parent, how did that like balance out with being an artist?
Yeah, it's different. So
to say the least.
Yes, to say the least. I think with my boys, I try not to interfere with their growth path. I think they're all creative and they're all exploring it. And this, in particular, when they were younger, they seemed to do a lot. My one boy sculpts, the other did these big smiley faces. And then Robbie loves art, and he made some special projects in his art class. And then Michael, who's the youngest, is just getting started. So I think what they see is that I love them, and it doesn't matter where they end up. Vice president, billionaire, homeless. I love them. I'm not looking for them to be
that takes
anything.
the pressure off of
I'm
making a decision.
Right. And then I think they have seen the passion in me, but then I got divorced, and I think I know they struggled with that. They felt that things are more important than they are. And that's not the case. It's never been the case. And
that comes with growth, though. That type of understanding comes with growth.
Right. And they're starting to, but I know they questioned it, and it was not easy. And I know most people don't understand my passion for art, including me. I don't understand. Why is it that I have to do this?
But they see the consistency, and Tiffany just said something. Being a role model is so much better and different than being a mentor or being somebody who's telling you what to do. And I think a lot of us have always had a mentor or a group of mentors, but we have yet to find real role models, because it's always do as I say, not as I do. And you lose that aspect of having somebody to physically show you what it is. And most of us who are artists, we had people come in, and you know how they did the college tour days where they brought people in and they were like, well, this is a doctor and this is a lawyer, and in your mind that ain't not what I want to be. So there were rarely artists that came in, and if they were artists, they were these bigger than life eccentric creatures that we just connected to, and then we didn't see him again. And it was like one little workshop at the school that day, and then we never saw him again. And the lawyer and the doctor and the teacher was so we all went to school thinking, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And then you either graduate or you drop out, and you're like, well, I'm a loser. And then you find your way back to the arts. One of my friends, she has 3 sons. Her husband is really sports minded, and she's really creative. And all of them did sports growing up. But as adults, Ellis and Missy Lane, they've all found their way to being an artist. One is a photographer, one has been a model and a director, and the other one is like a producer / rapper now. And they've all found their way to the art. And I'm just not saying it will always end up like that, because you probably will have one sports player out of the bunch. And they're really still heavily into sports. But even for me, I didn't have many full-time consistent artists. I had a lot of uncles who were creative. I had a lot of family members who could paint and make stuff, but they weren't consistent in it. It was something they did as a hustle or something they did, just to pass time or to get their nerves together. But it was never something I saw consistently as how I'm doing it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm strange to them because you're making a living.
Right. You've taken your passion and learned how to make a living out of it, how to pay the bills with it. And that's, like I say, we are our own small businesses, aren't we?
Yeah, that's why a lot of the stuff, no matter what I do, a lot of my work, I end up back within the community, whether I'm doing a workshop or I'm giving a talk to the high school students, or my art sometimes involves the youth. And so when I was approached with the opportunity to do Baltimore's Gifted, I'm like, yes, we need this. We need to show them that if you have a talent, or, there's a way that you can benefit from that. Not saying you have to be a full-time artist when you grow up, but
it's a good foundation.
right now you can learn these skills, and it's okay to just be expressive, or it's okay not to say, oh, I'm going to grow up to be a doctor, and you have to have that from the beginning.
Right.
So, I know sometimes she feels like there's pressures that, she has to have her mind made up about what she's going to do. I'm like, that's what college is for.
Right.
Go explore the world, meet new people. Art for me has introduced me to so many different people. I've done art in ways that I never expected art to be. New Day Campaign is a prime example. Mental health and addiction, and using art to talk about it, be comfortable with it. Which is also coming back out in 2016. I forgot to shout that out earlier.
But that was one of the things also that because my Rorschach series, that was what I wanted to express, mental disorder. But how do I make this pretty and inviting so we can talk about it comfortably and it can easily come out of somebody's tone? I was going
to say that we have to go a break shortly, but we'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. Stay right here, and then let somebody else know about us so that they can come and stay right next to you.
Can you tell if the leftovers from this dinner party are beginning to grow bacteria that could lead to severe diarrhea, vomiting, and stomach cramps? Listen. You can't see it either. Get leftovers into the refrigerator as soon as possible. Spoiled leftovers can make you very sick, or worse. Roughly 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year, but you can keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. Brought to you by the USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
I've been trying to get better at my freestyling. And apparently when I'm inebriated, my freestyling is legit.
Okay.
But when I'm sober, so I got to learn how to transition the inebriated TC into the sober TC so I can actually hold my own against some of these people. But Stella, you said you wanted to pick his brain about ghostwriting.
Yeah, dude, like seriously, how do you feel about it? In the midst of this whole Drake and Quentin Miller thing, everybody started trying to write him off and everything. Me personally, I never cared for Drake, so I'm just gonna put that out there right now. Never cared for him, so it doesn't make or break him in my book.
I think with or without a ghostwriter, Drake is still one of the best rappers, not of all time, but of this era.
Right.
I mean, you gotta, whether it be Take Care or anything he's put out before, like people, I think people don't understand the idea of ghostwriting. Just imagine you hot and you gotta stay hot, but in the midst of you trying to stay hot, you on tour, you on radio.
Somebody whatever. Got to pull up the
you got somebody that's literally like, and it's not even, most of the time it's not even writing all the bars. They got these reference tracks now and blah blah blah. Like with the ghostwriting joint, like I think we also have to understand that there's two different types of people in hip hop. You have your rappers and you have your MCs.
Check out Who Got Buzz every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
We're rewarding you for something you already do, listening to us. It's Radio Loyalty, and it's an easy way for you to get free stuff. All you do is sign up. Go ahead and click the banner now. You'll earn points as you listen. Points you can trade in for great products and services in the Radio Loyalty store. You can earn even more points when you share your favorite station with friends on Facebook and Twitter. Radio Loyalty. It's free to sign up, so click the banner to join now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com. We're going straight over to Sean. He had a response to the question.
Sure.
We had.
Yeah, I just wanted, I think for me anyways, for art, I'm not going to, I've shown myself that I'm making the art. Money's great when it comes. And it's not so great when it doesn't come, and I'm still making the art.
Right.
And so somewhere along the line, all of that went away. The critiques, I don't like your art, I love your art. It's like, okay, but if you can talk to me about my art and critique it, then, you know, you have my attention. Financially, like I said, it's if and when I'm multi-millions, I don't think it's going to make a whole lot of difference because my approach is the same. It's always about what I'm creating and why I'm creating it. And I kind of like that, you know, that's, I think it's great that you guys are, I'm not saying I'm not doing it for somebody else, but I'm certainly doing it for myself.
Yeah.
It has to start with you first.
Yeah.
It definitely has.
Yeah.
You were talking more about what art is for you and what it does for you.
Oh yeah. Stacy was asking about the mental health and addiction part, and I was involved in a New Day campaign, and you know, my art is personal. Every time I do my art, it's therapeutic for me, and it's very emotional. So when a New Day campaign came, and I created Safe Love, which is a patchwork quilt workshop, and we used therapy, like group therapy type prompt questions that they had to create their shawl. It was like a prayer shawl, but it's like a love shawl, and each square is supposed to tell a story about a trauma or something that they went through, and then how they grew from that along their healing path, their healing journey. And at the end, we had this dedication ceremony that involved some breathing and meditation exercises and a complete dedication to activate this love shawl that they're supposed to use, and whenever they feel like they're alone or needed some protection or some extra love. They could have created it for someone, or they created it with someone. So that interaction with the artwork itself, the materials, and getting into that process of creating, you know, when you're thinking about the different prompts or questions that are being posed, you know, you go through this thought process. You don't have to answer out loud. So you're kind of having this self conversation. And so it just makes it this therapeutic experience. And so for me personally, it's just a way to get it out and not have it just fester inside.
It's definitely lethargic, and it really, even if it's not what you do, I've been a part of a lot of art programs where children, specifically children, because most times children don't know how to verbalize what has happened or what they feel, and doing art, sometimes they get out some rough expressions of what they've gone through, and it's normally the extreme, and then you can pull it back in. But it's definitely, I've seen it help people to verbalize or picture or color or whatever it is, to get a thought out of the head, even if it's not something bad, just to be able to showcase what is up here and get it out in a constructive
and half
way.
the time you don't even know that you're getting it out. I was just creating for this hair series. I'm talking a lot about the history of hair and different events that happened in history with the Civil War and slavery and how that affected the Black community. And one of the pieces I was showing to someone, she was like, "Oh, this reminds me of something you were telling me about the story." And I said, "Oh, I didn't even create it for that thought or, that opinion, but it showed up through the work and she picked it up, even though I'm the one who told her and I created it.
Right.
I didn't even pick it up." So it's this, for me, it's this weird process where stuff just comes out and I'm not consciously aware of it, but it's coming out in the art.
One of the reasons that was very interesting to me is when I first moved to Baltimore, I had the honor of being able to volunteer at Healthcare for the Homeless on Falls Way as a volunteer facilitator for an art therapy workshop. And what was so striking to me about this is even though these people had come from situations where they're walking into this workshop after sleeping on the street the night before, and clearly in interacting with many of them, they were suffering from mental health issues. I was struck and humbled by the nature of the artwork being so cheerful and bright and hopeful.
Yes.
And it was, and the facility is actually decorated by this artwork done by the homeless clients. And so I've definitely witnessed myself the therapeutic value of art and how in the most dismal of situations it can be. And another experience is in LA. They have the volunteer or the Museum of Intolerance, which deals not only with the Holocaust but ageism, sexism, just any type of intolerance. And one of the exhibits that was most impactful to me was from one of the concentration camps, and there was a bullet, a shell casing, that someone had taken and etched a little landscape into, scratched it into it. And I was just taken back by, in the most absolute dismal of situations, they turned to art with one of the most offensive mediums that they could, the actual bullets that were facing them, and created art out of it. So that was just very interesting to me, and that's why I asked.
It's refreshing that a lot of private industries have definitely taken on the mantra to keep arts in the lives of everybody, not just children, but adults and people in like homeless shelter situations, because it really does help you to still have hope and a presence. But this conversation has been awesome. I love talking art, visual art. It does a lot for me, and it has been very therapeutic. So thank you all for coming back.
No problem.
And we're going to have this young lady. Tell me her name one more time.
Malia Johnson.
Malia Johnson. We're going to definitely need to have you come by again once you are a graduate and express to us what you're feeling now. So thank you, Sean Michael Kenny. Give me out your social media one more time.
smklight.com or SeanMichaelKenny.com. Spelled SEAN.
There we go. Yeah. Irish man. Miss Tiffany Jones.
Yes, on Instagram it's Tiffany J_photography, and on Facebook it's Tiffany J or Tiffany Jones.
And thank you, Miss Stacy, for bringing up the rear of the show, sharing some experience. I'm gonna definitely have to look up that in Museum of Intolerance.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look at that up. Oh, that's gonna be my excuse to get to LA. But thank you all for coming in. Don't forget to check this show out. If you came in halfway through, you can definitely go to the Be Exposed Radio page channel on YouTube and check out the entire show and all the other shows in the last couple months from the Artist Exchange and the other shows here on the Be Exposed station. Thank you all for coming in. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yes, thank you.
Projects. I'm always willing to come out to a visual art exhibition. So thank you. Appreciate it. We'll be right back next week, Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. We have an awesome lineup of guests. Josh Dixon will be next Friday. So stay tuned. We'll be right back next week.
From north, east, south, and west, you're listening to Be Exposed Radio.